Have you ever wondered about the bizarre, almost unbelievable moments in history that secretly steered the course of our world? It's not always the big, famous battles or the well-known inventions. Sometimes it's the weird stuff, the historical oddities that had massive, unforeseen consequences. Today, we're diving deep into the strange side of history to uncover 7 events you probably didn't learn about in school, but that absolutely shaped the world we live in. Get ready, because history is about to get a whole lot weirder. Let's kick things off with a story about a volcano and a bicycle. In 1815, Mount Tambora in Indonesia erupted. This wasn't just any eruption, it was the most powerful one in recorded history. It was so massive that it spewed tons of ash into the atmosphere, blocking out the sun and causing a volcanic winter. The following year, 1816, became known as the Year Without a Summer. Crops failed worldwide, leading to widespread famine. In Germany, this agricultural crisis meant that horses, which were the primary mode of transportation, became too expensive to feed. Many were simply abandoned or eaten. This left a huge transportation gap. A German inventor named Karl von Drais saw this problem and got to work. His solution? A 2-wheeled, human-powered vehicle he called the loaf machine, or running machine. It was the world's first bicycle. This strange chain of events, a volcano erupting on the other side of the world, leading to a transportation crisis in Europe, gave birth to the ancestor of the modern bike, a device that would revolutionize personal mobility for millions. Next up, let's talk about how a failed attempt to make artificial quinine for malaria treatment gave us the color purple. In 1856, an 18-year-old chemistry student named William Henry Perkin was trying to synthesize quinine in his home lab. He completely failed. Instead of a life-saving drug, he ended up with a thick, dark sludge. Most people would have thrown it away, but Perkin was curious. When he tried to clean his beaker with alcohol, he noticed the sludge dissolved into a beautiful, vibrant purple liquid. At the time, purple dye was incredibly rare and expensive, made from the mucus of thousands of sea snails. Only royalty could afford it. Perkin realized he had stumbled upon the world's first synthetic dye. He called it Movine. It was an instant sensation. Suddenly, anyone could afford to wear the color of kings. This kick-started the entire synthetic chemical industry, leading to new dyes, perfumes, and eventually modern pharmaceuticals. A happy accident in a teenager's lab literally colored our world and sparked a chemical revolution. Our third strange event takes us to the dance floor, a deadly one. In 1518, in the city of Strasbourg, a woman named Frau Troffea stepped into the street and just started dancing. She didn't stop. Within a week, dozens more had joined her, and by the end of the month, over 400 people were caught in this dancing plague. They danced uncontrollably, day and night, until they collapsed from exhaustion, heart attacks, or strokes. Local authorities were baffled. Thinking the cure was more dancing, they cleared out guild halls and even hired musicians to keep the beat going, which only made things worse. So, what was the impact? While it sounds like a bizarre footnote, this event and others like it highlighted the profound effects of mass psychogenic illness, or mass hysteria, often triggered by extreme stress and famine. It forced a medieval society to confront the limits of its understanding of the mind and body, pushing them to look beyond supernatural explanations for physical and psychological ailments. It was a terrifying early glimpse into social psychology and the powerful connection between mental distress and physical manifestation. Now, for a story about how a single assassination attempt, involving a pair, accidentally led to the creation of modern emergency services. In 1850, a former Army officer named Robert Pate, who was mentally unwell, walked up to Queen Victoria's carriage and struck her on the head with his cane. This wasn't the first attack on her, but it was a public one. A few years later, in a separate, even stranger incident, a young boy named Edward the Boy Jones repeatedly broke into Buckingham Palace, stealing food and even the Queen's underwear. These security breaches were deeply embarrassing for the crown. The public was outraged at how vulnerable their monarch was. This public pressure directly led to the reorganization of London's police force. It spurred the creation of a specialized detective branch at Scotland Yard focused on intelligence and protection. This new model of professional, organized policing, with a focus on preventative security and rapid response, became the blueprint for modern police departments and emergency services around the world, all because of a few bizarre, deeply personal security failures. Let's move on to our fifth event, the Great Stink of London. In the scorching hot summer of 1858, the River Thames, which was effectively an open sewer for the city's millions of residents, began to cook. The smell was so overpowering and noxious that it brought the city to a standstill. Parliament, located right on the riverbank, couldn't function. They tried soaking the curtains in chloride of lime to mask the smell, but it was useless. The crisis forced politicians to act. For years, they had ignored proposals for a modern sewer system due to the cost. But the Great Stink made the problem impossible to ignore. In just 18 days, they passed legislation to fund one of the most ambitious engineering projects of the 19th century. London's sewer system. Designed by Joseph Bazalgette, this network of intercepting sewers is still in use today. It not only cleaned up the city and eliminated the smell, but it also dramatically reduced diseases like cholera and typhoid, saving countless lives. This project set a new global standard for public health and urban sanitation, a standard born from an unbearable smell. Our sixth strange event is about a misunderstanding over a pig that nearly started a war between two global superpowers. In 1859, the San Juan Islands, located between the mainland United States and Vancouver Island, were claimed by both America and Great Britain. Tensions were high, but things were mostly peaceful. That is, until an American farmer named Lyman Cutler shot a pig. The pig, owned by an Irishman from the British-run Hudson's Bay Company, had been rummaging through Cutler's potato patch. When the British authorities threatened to arrest the American farmer, the U.S. military sent in troops. The British responded by sending warships. For several weeks, a full-blown military standoff ensued, with hundreds of soldiers and cannons pointed at each other. A single gunshot could have triggered a war between the United States and Great Britain. Luckily, cooler heads prevailed. News of the Pig War reached Washington and London, and officials were horrified that a dispute over livestock could escalate so dramatically. They sent negotiators, and the crisis was peacefully resolved through joint military occupation until the border was officially settled years later. This bizarre incident became a crucial lesson in de-escalation and the importance of clear diplomatic channels, shaping how border disputes were handled for decades to come. Finally, let's talk about the time a flock of sheep saved an ancient city. In 390 BC, according to the Roman historian Livy, the Gauls launched a surprise night attack on Rome, scaling the walls of the Capitoline Hill, the last Roman stronghold. The guards were asleep, the dogs were silent, and the city was moments from falling. But the Gauls disturbed a flock of geese sacred to the goddess Juno. The geese started honking and flapping their wings wildly, waking up the Roman commander, Marcus Manlius, who then roused the rest of the soldiers. They successfully fought off the attackers and saved Rome. While the historical accuracy is debated, the story of the sacred geese of the Capitol became a cornerstone of Roman identity. It was a powerful tale of divine intervention, civic duty, and the idea that even the smallest, most unexpected things could save the Republic. This legend was taught to Roman children for centuries, reinforcing values of vigilance and piety, and shaping the cultural and psychological bedrock of an empire that would, in turn, shape the entire Western world. A flock of noisy birds helped build the foundational myth of an empire. And there you have it, 7 strange, unexpected events that rippled through time, shaping everything from our transportation and technology to our laws and our cities. History is full of these weird turning points, proving that the world can change in the most unpredictable ways. Which of these stories surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the bizarre side of history, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories you did not learn in school. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.